Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is the Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games and I'll hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is a brand new game here, just out, release day. It's Steel Division 2. So that makes this episode number 1. We're going to get started on a grand campaign. And it's very much a new feature brought into Steel Division that wasn't there in the original game. Getting a little background before we jump into it. But first off, here we are, main menu. We have solo. This is Army General, the mode. This is the grand campaign. And you can see it's broken up into 4 parts, 4 mini maps of one larger campaign. Now this is Operation Bagration. This is the Soviet summer offensive in June and July of 1944. Now, in terms of time scale, what's going on in World War II at this point, beginning in June 23rd of 44, ending in the early part of July 9th of 44, at least for the gameplay. The offensive itself kicked off about a day earlier than that, June 22nd, and it's going to run through mid-August. What's going on elsewhere around the war? Well, Steel Division, the original, we're on the exact same time scale. Okay, so Allied operations had been ongoing. North Africa was done, dealt with. Sicily was done and dealt with. And Italy had been the area of focus for a while at this point. About 3 weeks earlier, Allied troops make it into Rome. Also about 3 weeks earlier, June 6th, D-Day. So Normandy, beach landings, the invasion had begun of Western Europe. So that's 3 weeks ahead of where we're at. Well, where we're at now, at this point, and through this period, well, the Allies are still bogged down in Normandy, largely because of the hedgerows. So Normandy is still ongoing. That's the original Steel Division game, is that Normandy invasion. So focused on the Allies' invasion there in the Western Front. Now that breakout away from Normandy, well, that's a few weeks after this timescale. So it took a while before they're going to really break out of the Normandy region and start pushing towards Paris. By the way, that's 6 weeks on from where we're at here, so late August. So you can kind of get the idea of what's going on. Now, similarly, what else is going on? Well, about 3 weeks after this, that's when Anne Frank, hiding in her attic, when she's captured by the Gestapo. Also, there's a whole nother war going on in the Pacific that the U.S. is involved in. Japan, primarily, but plenty of other big players. In fact, there were a lot more casualties in China than the Americans ever took in the war in the Pacific, but the Americans kind of gained the focus as they essentially won the war there in the Pacific. What's going on at that point in time is something that actually involves me personally, in a way. No, I was not a soldier. I was not there. My family wasn't there. But the invasion of Saipan. So the island hopping campaign going on, pushing to the north, pushing towards Japan from the south. Well, Saipan, the Marianas Islands, were invaded right at the same time of the Normandy invasions. So Saipan was being invaded this time. They were fighting for those grounds. The Marianas Turkey Shoot, one a lot of people are familiar with, was going on during that time. For those that aren't, that's an all-carrier battle. It's aircraft based off of carriers, and they were fighting it out. And the Americans took out well over 200 Japanese planes, losing just 20 themselves. And the majority of those were actually lost because they ran out of fuel trying to return and stagger their landing because the runways were full, and a bunch of them ran out of fuel and basically had to crash land just beside the aircraft carriers themselves and then be rescued. What's going on 3 weeks after that? Saipan, captured. Guam, captured. Tinian, captured. Now, my relevance to that, my connection there, is I lived and taught high school history in Saipan for a few years, and so I've been to the battle sites there and around Guam. But that's what's going on. Now, what's going on the Eastern Front, which is what is going to be Steel Division 2's focus, is this summer offensive by the Soviets, aka Operation Bagration. Now, this is Byelorusia, aka Belarus, is the main emphasis on where this is all going on and where these 4 maps are going to be situated. So just coming out of liberating Russia, it's been not so long since the Crimea has been retaken. Sevastopol has been retaken recently. So this is all now pushing the Germans back, reclaiming land, especially now that some of the pressure is off in the south, in Italy, and to the west, especially in Normandy, as Germans are scrambling to try to cover every front. So Russia goes on the attack, and this is the big part of that. So we're talking about kind of northern territory just above us. We've got Finland recently. The invasion has begun there just a couple weeks prior to this. And here's a big emphasis, and the big push is going to be towards the capital and then beyond of Belarus, Minsk. And you can actually see that on the map here. So we have Minsk here, and we're going to be making a push first through Orsha, and you can see how this kind of follows straight towards Minsk, and that is the target. So the first map is going to play out the days of June 23rd through the 26th. Second map is going to follow right in. So here is Orsha. See that the Soviets gained this land, pushing the front lines back, and then they're going to make an additional push hard, Berezina, towards Minsk. Then, at the same time that one's going on, you see the same days here, we're going to have the push in the south, again, in the direction towards Minsk. So we're going to try to encircle the forces here and capture them. And then Baranovichi, or Baranovichi, there you go, is the continued push after Minsk has been captured. This area has been encircled, number of troops have been captured, and we're going to continue that push west and south. So, big summer Soviet offensive. Now, the way this plays, 4 maps, 4 timelines, we're going to play them out. Great addition. You're going to see how this works here in just a moment as we get into it. But we have Soviet side, we have the German side, and we have 4 campaigns. So this playthrough has the intention of bringing about a Soviet victory. We'll start with that one because that's the real life, and then we'll go for the alternate history and go for the German defensive. So we're going to play this from both sides, and we're going to play all 4 maps. So we have 8 campaigns ultimately being carried out in this playthrough. Here we are, episode number 1. Let's go ahead and start getting into it, and we are going to follow that timeline. And again, we're going to follow the Soviet side first, and then we'll see if we can alter history. So Orsha is up first, and actually in terms of complexity, not necessarily difficulty, but complexity, this Orsha one apparently is going to be the toughest. What a way to begin. Alright, now here's the tricky part too. So we have 8 campaigns, ultimately, and we're going to add a difficulty modifier. Now, I'm set up as Soviets, and that's what I wanted to do here initially, and that's all good. But we have 3 difficulty settings as well. And That's tricky because we have easy, medium, or hard. And this is not an easy game. It's not. So I've got to ask myself, do we want to succeed or do we want to get blown out of the water? Well, tricky question. I know on easy, I could definitely be successful. I know on hard, I will lose. So does that mean I go for the middle ground and try to work it? Now, here's the thing too. Ultimately, to master this game, which is the objective of my channel, if you've never seen my channel before, that's okay. Here's your introduction, real quick. I take 10 games. I try to make them the best I can be in those games. I'm trying to master those games. 10 games, same time. It's a real challenge. Most YouTubers take on 1 or 2 games, master those, and then you have a niche audience, and then they follow you for that. For me, I'm trying to show what it's like to try to master a bunch of games all at once, which is a mind-boggling challenge. You could spend enough hours, you can get really good at 1 game, or 2 games, or 3 games. But 10 games? Good luck. By the way, so far on the channel, got really close to mastering 1 game. Got a ways to go to get to 10. I have a scoring system that shows whether I'm mastering games or not. Now, this one ultimately is going to come down to the 4 times 2, right? 2 sides, campaigns. That's 8. Difficulty level, that's the other couple hundred points. So 100 points for each campaign, and then 100 extra points for medium, 200 extra points for hard. That puts you over the top. Now, there's that part and what I'm trying to do. So I could get 800 points if I play easy and beat all the campaigns. I don't want it to be too simple. And eventually, maybe I'll go back and play hard to try to get all the way to 1,000 and actually fully master the game. But I think I'm going to start on medium. We're the Soviets. We've got the numerical advantage. We're making the push. It should work, right? We'll see.
June 21st, 1944. On the Western Front, heavy fighting has been taking place for the last 2 weeks in Normandy. While on the Eastern Front, the situation is much quieter since the end of the Soviet Spring Offensive, which has brought the Red Army to the gates of Belarus. It is in this sector of the front that the Soviets are now secretly building their strength during the early weeks of summer 1944.
See Moscow to the northeast.
Codename Operation Bagration. Its objectives: to trap and destroy the German Army Group Center in order to open the way for the quick capture of Warsaw. To achieve these goals, the Soviet Army intends to crush the main German strongpoints at Vitebsk, Orsha, Mogilev, and Bobruisk within the first hours or days of the offensive. Nowhere more than Orsha are the Germans ready to receive the Soviet assault. Waiting in strong positions they have held all winter against repeated Soviet assaults, and reinforced since then, they are confident they can once more break the enemy's offensive. Orsha is the main hub and key of the whole German defensive system, and therefore defended by the best troops. But the Soviets have learned from their winter failures and have devised new tactics, especially to crack open this stronghold. On June 23rd, in the wake of an artillery and air bombardment such as the Eastern Front has never seen, elite Soviet assault troops crash into the most determined German resistance.
24 hours after the initial Soviet attack on Vitebsk, its garrison is on the verge of collapsing. All signs now point toward Orsha as the next target, which the Soviet 11th Guards Army is about to attack with strong combat engineer support. Orsha is a crucial road and railroad hub, one of the main strong points on the German front. So important is this city that Hitler has earmarked it as a fortress, meaning it has to be defended to the last man. Two of the best German divisions, the 78th Sturm Division and the 25th Panzer Grenadier Division, are defending this sector, ready to counterattack the Soviets wherever they might break through.
Tough objective.
But their northern flank is held by the 256th Infantry Division, a unit destroyed and rebuilt too many times with too many raw recruits.
Okay, weakness in the north.
Your objective is to take control of the Moscow-Minsk highway. Once Tolichin is secured, we will unleash the 5th Guards Tank Army on the German rear.
Okay, so we're looking for a flanking action.
Choose your axis of attack well. The highway will allow for the fastest movement, but it is also the most heavily defended sector. Primary objective: capture Tolichin on June 29th p.m. at the latest. Secondary objective: capture Orsha.
Interesting. There's Tolichin. There's Orsha. This is the large-scale map, and then we get zoomed in further and further. Now, here, how do we move this around? There we go. Alright, so I have zero experience with this. The beta has been out for a little while, and I've only spent just a little bit of time on the beta to reacquaint myself. It's been just a little while since I played the original Steel Division, but reacquaint myself with the fighting. The skirmish mode is all that was available during the beta, so this is my first look, as well as yours, into this campaign mode. Now, I've read up on it, I've watched some release footage on it, so I've got a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of prep, but otherwise, this is literally the first I've seen it as it is for you. So you can see on our map, we have... This is the whole campaign map, and we will play through this campaign map. Now, it's June 23rd, a.m. The days work in two parts. You're going to have an a.m. portion to the day and a p.m. portion of the day. So basically, it's turn-based strategy here, and then the battles are the Steel Division RTS battles that you get. So that feature makes it a little bit like Total War in the way that it works. But here you're just carrying out objectives. I only have two of them. Capture this within about a week. And then secondary objective, take Orsha at some point. Now the easy road is through here, but that's going to be the most heavily guarded area, so it's going to be the difficult way. They've already mentioned that there is some weakness in the north defensively, so I could be having an easier path potentially. We'll zoom in a little bit through these roads through the north and then cutting south through here. So I could potentially sweep through this area to take this from the rear, cut supplies to Orsha, and then be able to overwhelm Orsha. And at the same time, this whole bottom end of the map, there are no objectives for me here at all. So what I'm thinking might be a strong strategy is kind of lay off on the north here, where they are dug in. So we'll dig in ourselves here, send some spare troops into the center to help with a push through here. I will lightly attack this area just to make some progress and kind of get through over time. But really where I want to make my breakthrough and use the bulk of my forces will be to the north. They're not even dug in. So This 456th Infantry Regiment, 1st Corps. That's probably our initial target. We'll also try to clear this out just for safety's sake to push the line. So we're going to be pushing the line straight west through the northern sector. And depending on how things go, we'll either turn south here or continue all the way to here, or both. We might take both of these towns first. That's the plan right now. So my 16th Infantry, and see, my strength is here in the center as well. So we'll see. Like I said, I think I might shift some of this. But for the most part, I might not ever make an advance intentionally along this front. I think I might just dig in with these guys. Now, this is all dynamic gameplay, unlike the previous one where it puts you straight into some sort of scenario and you just battle it out. That's your campaign. This one, I've got an Army Corps at my disposal, multiple Army Corps. I think I have 4 Corps at my disposal in this. I have reinforcements coming at some point, so that's what this has to do with. And I have action points. We're going to be learning a bit on the fly. Like I said, I've seen that little introduction, but otherwise that's what we've got. So let's start with getting a little bit of digging in anyway here in the south, and let's see what I can do. Now, I know that this dotted line is where we have range to move, and you can see along the roads we have more range. If we move just straight out, our range is pretty short, and you can see that we're pushing 10.8 kilometers at most across flat territory. But we could push 11.5, 12 kilometers following the road most of the way. Now, I'm not sure how we go 16 here, other than that I know we start on the road. I think the reason why we can't go further is, well, because it's going to engage us in battle if we do so. So, first looking at this, we have 2nd Corps, 245th. I guess this would probably be 2nd Battalion, 245th. It's a rifle regiment. I've got to figure out, there we go, dig in. What's this going to do overall? Establish fortifications. Battle Battalion receives the order to establish fortification. Bunkers, lines, Arbellas, trenches. Order requires 1 complete turn to be made, and this order requires 2 action points to be performed. Does that go for my overall? Or is that just action points? There, you can see that's my action point bar. That uses what I have, and this is what I have left that I could potentially move now that I've used 2 action points. It did not affect this, so I think that has to do with my reinforcements. Which means I'm going to dig in all across this front. And F is a shortcut key for that. So we'll take that. There you go. Now, I have all of these reserve units, and I think I may end up pushing some of them out of the area. We've got some artillery here. This is probably a leadership. Here's more artillery like this. Oh, it's anti-air artillery. We probably want to keep that around. You don't need to dig in as you're... Now, what are you? Sappers. Okay, so it's an engineer group. They would probably be of use elsewhere, and maybe we could push up here. Because they could get back down here pretty dang quick. Let's do that. Alright, so we used just about all of their action points and shifted them to the center. That's a rifle division. Ooh. Are they the only ones up here that's... Yeah, if they attack, I've got to have something to counter. But I'm not sure I need an additional artillery. We've got one artillery unit here. And there's plenty... I'm going to send these guys up north as well. And actually, I'm going to shift this group all the way onto the other front. So right-click, by the way, is how you do that if you are also going to be trying this game out yourself. Now, I do want to get some sort of defensive presence here. So maybe we bring up somebody for that. Okay, and then you're going to... Oh, you don't have enough action points to dig in. Okay, next turn you'll dig in. Now I'm going to take you off of this line, and we're going to put you on the front line here instead of on the road. And then we're going to bring you up closer in reserve. Now, if we're going to push that northern territory back, we're going to have to deal with these troops at some point, and maybe that's where we kind of begin from here. We don't necessarily attack the center, but we weaken the flank so that they can't cut us off once we invade, which means I need to bring troops forward. Bring you up towards the... Go, bring you up there, bring you up in support. And forward here as well. Well, I don't know if I want to come out of that forest. These guys are in the open, even though they're dug in. Is this command? No, it's a rifle regiment. Let's go ahead and... Well, you're... No, we have another reserve unit here, so we're going to put these guys up further, and we're going to kind of establish a flank here once these guys begin their invasion, which will be here in a moment. Now, there's already a reserve unit, and I just brought up another reserve unit, so these guys are going to move into a role to the north as reserve up there. That's our anti-aircraft, so we'll keep them present. I do have air forces as well. 16th Guards Infantry Corps, they're going to be coming in this way. I'll definitely be wanting to push them in right away. 2nd Guards Tank Corps, looks like they're going to be coming down the main highway here first and foremost. There we go. We're now into the northern territories. There's our anti-air from there. I probably want to bring you up into the forest. Defend up here. There you go. Those are reserve units that are going to need to be brought forward. Now these guys are in the open. This is probably the very first place I would like to go. Though I certainly would like to deal with this unit as well to be able to push back. But we could potentially encircle them from this road here and trap them. So maybe we push here, north, encircle, wipe out, and then have our breakout from there. We'll see. Depends on how things go. This is all brand new. So that means I want to make my first push here. So what do we have? Number of units, quality. This is all something I'm going to have to get used to, and the quality is affected as you fight. They're going to gain experience to get better, but as they lose strength, they're going to get worse. So we have 529 soldiers. We have 4 tanks, 18 artillery, whatever all that means. Command value, anyway. Looks like we have 84 infantry units, 8 tanks, and 15 artillery in all. So this is very little tank support. And this is as far forward as it's going to let me get. I'm feeling we are about to engage in our first battle. Can we bring you forward a little bit? There we go. And I don't know, right click. What's this going to do? Aha, click to prepare battle. So here's what we have. This is who we would be attacking. Yes? Yes, it is. All right. So their command value is an 86. They have 342 soldiers. They do have a little bit of tank strength compared to us. But they have half the infantry, plus we have support. But I don't know. They're going to have support as well. Now, here's the tricky part. We look in the broader area here. We have attacked. That's who we're attacking directly. But we have B, there's a C, here's an A, here's a B, here's a C, here's a C. If you're familiar with the Steel Division game, you have 3 phases of battle, and reinforcements become available in phases. For this, it's dependent on distance. So the further away, the later the phase. So you can see these units that are to the extremes would be available in phase C. These units that are a little bit further away, available in phase B. This unit that is close, right away in A as reserves, and this group would be directly attacked. Meaning they would have the initial placement. Now, we have our A's, we have a B, and we have some C's. But there's also a limit to what you can bring into the fight. So, it's all going to be a big experiment. Here's the tricky part. Any units that I lose, or they lose, aren't going to be replenishable. They're wiped out, so I've got to be careful in how I play this. Now you can see I can choose up to 3 battalions, and I have a command value of 450 at max to select. Now, how to do this? Well, we'll find out. There we go. Okay, so left click will select what's there. And these guys aren't available till C, really. I would like to have a unit available early and another one. Oops, no. What the heck? I want this one. Ah, there you go. Okay, left click. So 2 A's and a B. I want to get my units in there early and see how this goes. Now, you have choices other than cancel, the obvious one. You have tactical battle, auto-resolve, and semi-auto-resolve. Now, auto-resolve will do the full battle on its own based on your selection and their selection and the terrain and all of that, and play it out. The semi-auto-resolve will go phase by phase by phase. So it'll go through phase A. and then it'll give you results and tell you whether you want to go into the battle or continue auto-resolving or semi-auto-resolve. And then phase B, and then phase C. Tactical battle, which I'll name this one right now. That is what I am restricted to. I will do no auto-resolves whatsoever in this campaign. Everything is going to be a tactical battle, and we better get to it because these tactical battles apparently can take a while to resolve. And really, that's still okay. You can shift around which one is under your control, which one is under AI control, and I will accept AI control because I'm not good at managing 3 battalions all at once. So I'm going to leave the 2 reinforcing units under AI control, and I'm going to take the 1st Corps of the 33rd Grenadiers Rifle Regiment myself. But you can shift around the battalions, shift around the regiments. You can move them around how you see fit. I don't know if they stay like that permanently or if that's just in battle orders. But here we go. Now, there are 30 plus maps that the game has created, like skirmish maps. Depending on the type of, there's apparently 3 game modes. You have like attack, defense, neutral, you have cities, all of that kind of stuff in play. And am I already time going? Let's pause here real quick. So, I'm attacking, they're defending. So you can see that I have no control of the terrain. And so I've got to take away from them. They have all 24 objectives under control. That's all these flags, blue flags. I am red, I'm attacking, I have 0. So my counter is going to go down at a rate of basically 24 minus. I've got to start taking objectives very quickly to slow that rate, and then I've got to then take control of a larger area, otherwise I will lose the battle. Phase A, 10 minutes to go. I have just 20 requisition points. So this is what I have in terms of reinforcements, and you can see that I have +3 every little bit. And I do have some units that are already called up. Oh, that is my ally, I think. I don't think that's me. So remember, I do have another AI-controlled unit that is participating in this one. Now, requisition points, that's the yellow here, and it's just 1 to requisition a unit. So this is a little bit different than how the skirmishes work. You call up a unit, you call up a unit. All the infantry, the scouts are all 1. The infantry is all 1. Oh, these are the different... Okay, I got you. Support group. You can see the artillery here is 2. This artillery is 3. But otherwise, everybody's a single 1. It looks like our command unit... Now here's the tricky part. I don't know. I don't speak Russian, so I'm going to be learning these units as we go. That's the tricky part. And actually, in my practice, in the beta, skirmish-wise, I was still fighting with American forces. I had it on random, and the handful that I did always came up with either American or British forces, which I'm familiar with from the original Steel Division. I don't know the Soviet forces terribly well, other than my own learnings when I was in the Army. I was a scout. 19 Delta, back pre and post 9/11. And so I did learn about Russian tanks. I don't have any tanks at my disposal right now, so good luck to me there. Get the basic idea. There we go. It's a rifles unit. That's a rifles unit. This 2 is how many you have available. So this means there's only a single 1 available. Okay, that's a machine gun. HMG team, infantry gun. We have a sniper team, a couple of them. We have an assault squad. We have 3 rifle squads and 6 rifle squads. Just slightly different equipment for those. Now, this is presumably my ally. And I think I have nothing called up, so they have their forces kind of covering this eastern flank, these couple roads along here, which means the west is wide open, and sure enough, it is. I have an objective right there that I'd like to claim quickly, but otherwise the main brunt of my forces need to be heading north this way. The tricky part, though, is we have some really open terrain through here. We have a little bit of tree cover in here, and so we may have to start with that. Infantry can cover these houses pretty easily, but breaking out from there is going to be tricky. What do we have beyond? We do want to get into this town quickly. I'd like to get into this tree cover where we can cover that point quickly, and then we can probably establish just a couple infantry to push east and claim that once we're through, or even just hopscotch through here. Once that's all established, then we can look to take this town via these woods, and then we can kind of push out into this terrain, but that's a lot of open terrain, so I'd much rather kind of push this way along this road continuously and then kind of work back into that. We're going to have to keep pushing east, it looks like, to support them. That's where a lot of the objectives are. This is the town in the area, small town. A lot of open terrain here, which is good for tanks, and I don't have them. But we are pushing into infantry, but I don't know what kind of reserves they're going to be pulling up. I'm not going to have much speed, as I don't have vehicles. So we're going to take a couple of infantry here. And then we're going to take the bulk of our forces over here. Oh, and they come in as reserves, it looks like. And yes, I'm red, so that yellow is my ally, I believe. Or orange. Let's get a machine gunner up here as well. Good. Kind of calling out this first group. Okay, that's a leader. Let's get a leader with them. I still have 11 requisition points, so that is good. Let's get one machine gun on this side. Get the infantry gun for support. Put you back a little bit further though. I'll get one sniper with you as well. One assault squad. Bulk of the forces are all going to go in here. Take that other rifle squad. And that rifle squad. And that leaves me with 5 more. Anti-tank. Supply truck. We have a commander. Let's get a commander out there. And I have 3 more, and there's 3 units. Let's get one of you over here in a little bit of a reserve role. Let's give you a sniper as well. And we do have 1 more assault squad, and I suppose we'll balance that out. There we go. Okay. Launch battle. Yeah, there you go. I've got red. Okay, you can see right away the lines are pushing. So, if you've never seen the game before... Oh, it's not showing me the lines. Oh, dang. I might want to change that in settings. But there are my forces. And the whole group is going to push north. You know, let's see. They were kind of the line of establishment was there. Let's at least bring it up to here quickly. These guys push up here quickly. And these guys are going to push all the way to the edge of town quickly. And there we go. Now, every time this timer fills up, we're going to add 3. And I'm going to have to call in those reserves right away. So we've just obtained our first objective. They obtained their first objective as the push to the north gets underway. I think I might try to push all the way up here right away, but I'm not sure that that's going to be a smart idea. I think I need to send some of these troops through this forest and hop through those buildings just to be safe. So I'm going to take a moment. They have not engaged the enemy at all yet and are that far north already. So let's go ahead and keep pushing up towards there, and we'll move fast towards there actually. These guys are the ones that I want to head into this forest. So actually move fast to there. Because they're going to cut across this way. There you go, the move fast. It puts everybody on the road, and you can see how much faster the movement is now. So just like that, we have 6 areas, and I'm about to come under fire. Tree line right over here. So we are going to come under fire, and we are not in the right mode for that, but we've got to move quickly. This is open territory, so I've got to take the risk, get through there. These guys are going to all unload here in this forest and then take things a bit more delicately. But you can see at this rate, we'll have a major defeat in 32 minutes. But as I gain each flag, each objective, we get better and further along. Look how far they've gotten already. Dang. Go AI. Support me. Help me out. By the way, I could already call in 3 recruits, and maybe I should do that. Supply truck. Or we start calling in the second group. Infantry, sniper teams, the assault squads, we have the rifle squads. Let's call in the rifle squads. We'll call in all 3 here to the west, and we're going to get you guys heading straight for this town. Ooh, they do have forces there. Okay, pause. I don't think you were supposed to be there already. Oh no, that's just your destination, I think. Okay, so there is an artillery piece there that we're going to have to very quickly move towards. There is an artillery piece there. I think that's where that shot came from previously. These guys are getting in place. Let's go ahead and unload here. I'm going to unload here. Unload there. This is pretty much all infantry through here. Load there. And we'll push on a little bit further with these guys. Ooh, I just lost my first unit. Okay. You're gonna unload right there at the edge of the forest. About there. So that unit we just lost is irreplaceable. That entire unit just got wiped out, just like that. Now as these guys unload, they will automatically take cover. Take these last couple and try to push. Got just that one gang. Oops. Spacebar. Spacebar is a tricky one here. Okay, we just had a second unit wiped out by the artillery on our quick moves in. Okay, these guys are starting their unloading. They're out of range for that one, well out of range. Maybe I should have left them in the vehicles and pushed straight on to that town. But we've got to get some fire on this unit here. Oh, that's still weird. Hang back a little bit. Push up here. Actually, maybe over here. Another group destroyed. It's a machine gun getting pinned down here. This group made it at least. They're firing there. They're starting to back off. That's good. Now, I want you to scoot over here, and then we're going to cut across. Go around those guys. Oh man, that's... We took some heavy losses there. Okay, you're going to make that run across, and you're going to make that run across. Hopefully somebody makes it. Is that my ally? It was orange. I think they're just sending a unit there. Ooh, hang back, hang back. Out of range. You're almost in range. So go ahead and get over here. Move you a little bit further over. These guys are pinned down. This group. It's that machine gun, but they're making it into the building? Yes. Oh, they surrendered. Dang it. We just lost this whole area. Okay, pause. This is one thing that's always difficult for me, is calling up support units. And we're going to call in these rifle squads here. There you go. That's a little glitchy right now. I don't think it's supposed to be like that. Anti-tank team here, and we got one more for right now. Let's get a machine gun unit as well. There we go. Get them into here and then see if we can't get the support. I mean, this group did a good job of getting out here, and they're going to help clear that line. These guys look like they might make it across to there, and that's going to be huge because this group can then come up support and we can push out from there. But this town, a little bit tricky right now. This group really needs to get across here, so we'll stay with them. They are under fire right now. There we go, line of sight. Disappeared for a second. Oh, they're on the move too. Keep going. Keep going. There we go. Took one of them out. Just 3 left. 1 left. Wiped him out. Good job, guys. Good job. Okay. We'll get that town secured soon enough. Alright, we've got 2 units in support. This unit's gonna go ahead and bound and push that way. That's a leader. Shoot. Another unit pushing in. Took 2 out real quick and they're falling back. Down to 2. This infantry squad's doing a great job. Down to just 1 soldier. Got him. Okay. Push up again. At the moment, we actually hold the town. We're almost level on points now, too. This is a worry, though. Where's my support? You guys. Just come straight on up there. Out of range. You're a sniper. How is that out of range? Push back here a little bit. And we're coming under fire from long range here too. Okay, those guys did make it, so let's get these guys out here. And you're gonna come up here and support that. And you unload right there. You're gonna take them out. Move into a more advantageous position here. So continue to push. I'm not gonna have them come all the way across though. Wait for all of this support before we push on into that forest beyond. Good. Unload here, please. And let's get you right there so you can take out those 4. And you're going to take that position. Actually, let's push a little bit further west. Objective lost. Oh, to the east. This area. I lost 1 unit. You guys all right there. We've got incoming that we got to deal with. Ooh, I have 15 units I can call up now. We're going to begin a push for that town here shortly. But these guys need some help dealing with those guys. These guys are going to wipe them out pretty quick. They're out in the open. And retreating. There's 4 of them falling back. These guys are on the move quickly. These guys are going to hold this town. I'd like to start getting some forces up here. But I think that's a better objective to take first. We only have one infantry that's made it over there so far, so I need to send some units their way. Let's go ahead and pause for a moment. Call up some reinforcements to here. Get a supply truck out here as well, just in case. We'll start with that process. Alright, we now have 14 objectives to their 10, and they have a much shorter timer than we have, as we are the attacker. So we actually don't even need to do much else, as we can win this in 5 minutes. Put you in a little bit better position. Push you forward a little bit. Commander, yeah, you're fine back here. I like having this sniper on the flank, but let's bring you out over here. These guys should be able to deal with this threat pretty easily, but let's move you over a little bit so you could actually support it. Actually, maybe that's where I should put you. Put a third unit over there, keep that secure. I would like to still take this objective to make that timer go a little bit quicker. My AI ally has really pushed it hard, but I'm going a little conservative here. Remember, these units are lost forever when I lose them, so I kind of like to stay alive a little bit. Okay, fight's on over here, but we are from a protected position and they are in the open. The machine gun appears to be in range as well, so we're getting some crossfire. Yep. They're down to 5. 4. Falling back. 3. Alright. Start unloading these guys.
Борис, ложись! Там есть фашисты. Кто я их обнаружил? Здесь его видите. Пора! Пошевеливайтесь! Так точно.
Actually, gonna push these guys all the way out into the woods here. It's time to start pushing out from here. Once this unit's dealt with, anyway. Two and a half minutes till we have a minor victory. Go for a direct attack on those guys. You're gonna come out. Line of sight. Really need one? Ooh, hello, hello. Yeah, this objective's not going to be an easy one to take. Over a little hill, it looks like. Ooh, destroyed. If we could take out this one unit, there we go, it's starting to fall back. We could take this point. leave the others in for protection, but we're going to try to claim this town right now. Uh-oh. Taking artillery fire from the northwest. 49 seconds. I still want to claim this though before speed things up though. 40 seconds. 38. We still have 2 infantry units here, so it's going to be hard. Pretty hard. Oh, you're almost there. You're almost there. 8 seconds. I guess we're not taking this point before it's contested, but we nearly got it. Minor victory, though. And we'll see. This is kind of that big moment. 18 kills, 14 losses. That's where I was trying to be smart about it and not take too much damage. My ally did pretty well, 27-19. Overall, they had 45 losses, 33 kills. And there is experience gain. We'll see how that all plays out on the map. But we'll look back at the map and wrap up with that for this first episode. So for this series, ooh. Okay, no, so we do claim that area. That's action points. They're out of action points because of the battle. Okay, okay. Interesting. Bring you out and support a little bit. Okay, well, there you go. There's our first battle fought and won, and you can see it plays out here on the map. It's all that learning experience. Anyway, my plan for this series is to have 1 new episode every single week, unless some of my games I do 2 per week, and they're the ones that feature the most on the channel. They're the ones that have the highest viewership. So if you want to see more of this, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to drop a comment below to where I can get at least a couple episodes a week going on this series. I certainly would like it. I would love doing this long term and feature this more regularly on the channel. But that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. And remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe and tune in next time on my Road to the Record. Bye for now.